All right, so we are working on breakout rooms today. Let's get started. I am here in my demonstration class so that we can try and get this going. We are using channels to do our breakouts because the Teams breakout rooms are not yet available. They should be coming later in December. But until then, we need to make sure that we can do what we need to do ahead of time. So right now, you are in the general channel. And in order to make sure that you are ready for your breakout rooms, you want to have those channels already created. So let's get started by creating our channels. So we're going to come over here to this left side, click on the three dots, click on Add Channel, Breakout Room 1. You can give it any name you want, but you got to make sure that you give it the correct name and it's all spelled correctly the first time around. Okay, so do not click Add until you have gone back and proofread to make sure that it is exactly the way you want it to look. My suggestion is to leave it at standard privacy, which means anybody can get to it. The reason you want to do that is so you can switch around the groups. If you change this privacy to private, then only certain people will be able to get to it, and it will make changing your groups around more difficult. So leave it at standard. Allow the channels to show up in everybody's channel list. That way they'll be able to see it and you won't have to worry about somebody saying, I don't see the breakout room. It's in their channel list. They'll be able to see it. It will be okay. Add the channel. Of course, you can name these whatever you want, but I find it's easier just to go with 1, 2, 3. If you do not put a number in there, it will alphabetize the rooms. So you don't necessarily want to do that. I mean, if you don't care about it being alphabetized, that's fine. But I just find that this works a little bit easier. And it makes it a little bit easier for me to keep up with things. And I did not finish that. So I have to come back in here. Now, I did that. I rushed through that last channel. So now I have to go back and I have to correct that. Edit channel. Haha, that's what I needed. And you click on automatically show. That's what I skipped the first time around. So I have to go back and fix that. So if you skip a step, you go into edit channel and you can correct that issue. Now, I only have 3 breakout rooms here. The reason why I stopped at 3 is because unless I add in an additional device, this is what I can get to. These are the rooms that I'll be able to bounce back and forth through. Now, if I wanted to open up a different device, I would be able to start jumping through additional rooms. But we don't always have that capability. So please consider that when you are starting to put together your breakouts. Think about the tech capabilities that you have at that time. You want to make this as easy on you as possible. So if you don't always have a second device to work from, then you do not want to make more than 3 breakout rooms. You are able to bounce back and forth between 4 meetings on one device. Now, that's 3 breakout rooms and your general meeting. The general meeting being the whole group session. So unless you know that you are always going to be comfortable with trying to navigate breakout rooms from your phone, or you always have an additional laptop or desktop or iPad that you can work from, stick to 3 breakout rooms. It will make your life a little bit easier. Now, you've got your rooms created. You're ready to get started. What you would want to do before class ever begins is get the meetings going. So we come in, we have our general, we know we're going to be meeting with our students. Things are locked down in our groups. We use the lobby system. That's perfectly fine. We don't want to use the lobby system for our breakout rooms. So when we start those meetings, and we want to start those meetings before the students ever get there. So go on and start the meeting. We're going to be meeting here. We're going to do this. Everything is great. And we're going to want to use computer audio and join. It takes it a second, so you do have to be patient, of course. And once you've got your meeting going, then you also want to go on and come in here. You're going to fix your meeting options. Who can bypass the lobby? Everyone. You don't want anybody to use the lobby when they're going into a breakout room. Because what it looks like is you've let them in, but they're stuck. Because you don't see a lobby for a breakout room. So make sure that everyone can bypass the lobby. You want your students to be able to present so that they can all collaborate. You want them to be able to unmute so that they can all talk. Click on Save. And then in order to make sure that you have supervision when you are not in the room, because you are going to be bouncing back and forth between other rooms, before class ever starts, start that recording. You can record each breakout room. So if anything hinky goes on when you're not in the room, you still have the evidence. And you're still able to go back and look at it to see what happened. This also will allow you to go back and analyze group interactions and see if this is a good group to work together. It may look like a great group on paper, but then when they're actually together, if they don't gel, if they bicker the entire time or whatever it may be, maybe you want to switch groups around. So this is a good way for you to be able to go back and make sure that these groups are working the way you want them to work. I would always recommend recording every breakout room. You can start that recording before anybody else comes into the room. And once that's done, then just lower that one, come to the next breakout room, click Meet. Again, we come through here, we fix our meeting options. Everybody can bypass the lobby, everybody can unmute, everybody can present. That's done. Come up, start your recording. minimize the window. Down to breakout room 3, begin your meeting. And you go through the same process. Options. Everyone unmute. Yes, we're good. And record. And then minimize. We'll say our general meeting is going on now. Now, once you're in the different meetings, yes, it's going to take a little bit longer for things to move around. So if you need to start switching back and forth between your breakout rooms, then what you're going to do and just come back in. And you see it tells me that I'm on hold right now. That's because I jumped into a different meeting. So I never left the meeting. I just moved to a different one. Now that I'm trying to come back into breakout room 1, I just click on resume. The meeting is going on. Chatter, 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 hopefully. And I can just say, okay, how's everybody doing? They can respond back. Everything is wonderful. I can answer any questions they may have. And then I can say, okay, I'll check back in with you in a few minutes. Minimize that window. Move on to breakout room 2. Click on join. Resume. Okay, how's everybody in here? Chatter, chatter, chatter. Everything's great. Check back in with you in a few minutes. And move on to breakout room 3. And you can bounce back and forth between the meetings that way. Now, one of the things that I have come across in several of the recordings that I've seen lately, excuse me, when you are sharing content in your breakout rooms or allowing your students to share content, let's whiteboard. I don't know if you guys are already using it with your students, but I think it's pretty cool because you can set it in this collaboration mode. Go on and tell it to collaborate. Everybody can edit it, so they can all work in here. If they're more comfortable typing, then they can type their thoughts and ideas. They can use sticky notes. Or they can draw. Maybe they like, y'all, I'm doing this right-handed. I'm a left-handed person, so of course it's not going to look wonderful. Maybe they like writing with their mouse instead, or maybe they're an artist and they want to do something cool. Maybe they work better if they're doodling. Whatever it may be. You have different options for how they can collaborate. And maybe this will work out better for them than the chat bar, because not everybody remembers to turn the chat on. But they would all have access to this. They can all see this immediately. And this might be a way to get them to start working together when they are not comfortable talking yet. We all know that our students have to work up to being comfortable unmuting. They have to work up to being comfortable turning their cameras on. Maybe they are having a bad hair day, or they are in the middle of absolute chaos in their house. We don't know what the issues are. So we got to give them as many different options for engagement as we possibly can. And this would be another option. If you're not using the whiteboard already, well, now maybe now you can. So that's just another option for how you can work with it. Now, once you are ready for everybody to come back into the general meeting, you just pop into the breakout rooms and tell them, hey, come on back, we're ready to go. You can also say, we're ready to come back together. I'm going to end the meeting now. And end meeting. When you end the meeting in a breakout room, just like in anything else, it kicks everybody out. So if they have been kicked out of their breakout room, you have to make sure that they know when the breakout room meeting ends, come back to the general channel and click join so that they can resume their general meeting. This is the important part that they will need to know, because otherwise it'd be like, oh, well, what do I do now? So our breakout rooms can be fantastic, but we are going to have to model them. We are going to have to walk them through step by step how these work in order for them to get comfortable with them. And we may want to practice with them ourselves. Get your content team together and monkey about with it and put a breakout room together for yourselves so that you can bounce back and forth and see if that will help you get things going. If y'all have any problems with the breakout rooms, if y'all have any questions, please let me know. I will be more than happy to help. I am here to be a guinea pig, to troubleshoot whatever y'all need. And I hope that this is helpful. Y'all have a great day and happy Friday.